I'm Igor Kayfetz, and this is The List Building Lifestyle, the podcast for anyone who wants to build a wildly profitable email list working from home. If you'd like to make six figures, travel the world, and help people improve their lives in the process, this podcast is for you. I also invite you to claim a free copy of my best-selling book, The List Building Lifestyle: Confessions of an Email Millionaire, at igorsbook.com. Get the free book plus $3,000 bonus package that includes my best capture page templates, email swipe files, and traffic blueprints. Visit www.igorsbook.com for details. And now, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Welcome back to the List Building Lifestyle. I'm your host, Igor Kayfetz. And today we're going to talk YouTube ads, specifically affiliate marketing with YouTube ads, and how this one guy from West Virginia is making $65,000 per day in affiliate commissions running AI YouTube ads, which we'll talk more about. But first, I want to tell you a little bit more about my guest, Keegan, who used to be an engineer in his previous life, but has always had a passion for entrepreneurship because since about 2016, he's been involved in pretty much every type of business you can imagine, from real estate to personal training to eventually settling on affiliate marketing. But what's really cool is that he actually walked away from an engineering career to do that, which I find to be unusual. In fact, it's a bit of a theme because one of my previous guests, Jonathan Montoya, also walked away with a quite successful engineering career only to switch to become an affiliate marketer. And that was a conscious decision. No one put a gun to his head or anything like that. So this is a similar yet different scenario right here because Keegan is using a different strategy. He's one of the few people in the world right now who's actually able to leverage YouTube ads to successfully run affiliate campaigns without showing his face on camera. In fact, you probably never heard of the guy, and he's still making more money than, I guess, the top lawyers, dentists, and plastic surgeons in the country. So I really want to dig in today and pick his brain. So Keegan Miller, thank you for being on a List Building Lifestyle. Welcome to the show.
No, I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk about it. Yeah, like I said, I came across stuff you put out years ago. So it's funny how it comes full circle.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot. I guess it's just a testament to how long I've been in the industry because there used to be a time when I would interview people and nobody heard of me. And, they would just be like almost questioning, should they even be on the show? But these days it's really easy. I send out an email and be like, hey, you want to be on my show? It's like, oh yeah, I've seen your stuff around. I want to be on your show. So I really appreciate this stage of my life at this point, but at the same time, I mean, let's just focus on you because you've got an amazing story, an extremely inspiring story. I know you come from humble background, and you were on your way to go to college, but then something switched, and you decided to get your feet wet with all kinds of different businesses. So, take us to the time when you're just about to go to college, but you've got bitten by this bug.
So I think it started. It probably started 4 years before I even went to college. But yeah, I mean, almost 10 years ago, I was, and I'm 25 now, so I was very young then. But I just always had that pull towards doing something entrepreneurial. I don't know why. I just wanted to do my own thing. So it was like, for me, especially when I was getting started, it was like whatever I could do, whatever I could do, an 18-year-old kid could do, that's like the path I was going down. So yeah, a lot of it was shiny object syndrome and all that stuff. But no, I started my first business the week I turned 18, just because I guess I wanted to have the money in college. And from then, I tried several things without success while in college, and but continue learning, picking stuff up every time I went through one of those periods. But yeah, I was running Facebook ads back in 2016. Didn't have any clue what I was doing, but tried. Yeah, I was trying. So
tell us, I mean, what exactly did you try? Because it's a pretty common experience to go for for a couple of years trying different things before you find what makes you successful. And a lot of times, what I noticed, it can even happen in a way where you'd be trying to invent something or to be working on something that you think might work, but then on your way there you bump into something that makes you successful. Like this is what happened to me when I bumped into solo ads. I did solo ads is my call to fame, so to speak, right? It's when my business really took off and I started making some really big money, but it was never my intent. It's almost like I tripped over something and fell face first into solo ads. So take us back to that time and break it down. So I know you dabbled with real estate. So how what did you do with that?
Yeah, so with real estate, that's what I tried to do when I first graduated high school because I knew you didn't have to have money to do wholesaling real estate. So I was just going to play the hustle game and try to stir up as many leads as I could and get them under contract and flip the deal. So that's what my first endeavor was when I was 17 when I started trying to do it. Then I turned 18 and started the business and tried down that path. It didn't work. College kind of derailed that. There's a lot of distractions when you first get to college. But after that, the following summer, I was still 18. I tried, Facebook ads with trying to get personal training clients because that was a huge part of my life. Still is a big part of my life, but that's what I was trying to do then. Eventually, it led down the path towards SEO, building an agency. Well, there's another business in between that. It was actually a product my dad came up with. We got a patent on. We took into manufacturing, all this stuff, and he largely deals with that now. But that was another year in that in-between stage. And then it turned into senior year of college. It turned into SEO, trying to get clients with SEO. That morphed into drop shipping stores. It morphed into affiliate content sites. And each of these things I started to get traction on, like the affiliate sites. I started building just massive blog sites, and I was actually making like $1,000 a month off these affiliate sites. And I would push it to the limit, and then I would see another branch off, kind of like you get to one level and then you shoot up to the next level and you keep pushing. But like you mentioned, you're always looking for that path. What's the path that's going to get me to whatever my end goal is? So eventually, yes, I had the drop shipping stores. I was selling high ticket drop shipping stuff, sending it by less than truckload shipments. It was like big stuff in drop shipping. Eventually, I turned to affiliate ads on Facebook, which was, I came across a course with Rob Jones and Gary Kramer, and it was Facebook ads. By this point, I had just graduated as an engineer. I was pouring all of my salary into courses, into my business, I was just putting everything I had into finding something that worked. And I came across their model. And it wasn't like a instant hit. It took me, but it was something I saw a ton of potential in. And I started to see a little bit of success with it. And eventually, 4 or 5 months later, I was actually hitting numbers where I was able to quit my job with it. And that's what the goal was the whole time. I just wanted to have my own thing where I could go and live the life I want to. So that worked, and I quit my job. And this thing called COVID took over the U.S. a week later, and my family thought I was stupid for leaving my job. They're like, "What are you doing? You're going to leave? You have a great engineering job. You're going to leave your job to go do this, play with ads online. Like, what's wrong with you?" And so I grew that business through COVID. It actually hit a dip because, as I'm sure you and many of your listeners probably know, Facebook became very difficult to advertise on, and still is pretty difficult to advertise on. So I had quit my job. I'd burned the boats. I was all in, and Facebook wasn't working. So you start to get that shiny object syndrome again of what am I going to do? You start like calculating how much money you have left. Like, at what point am I going to have to go back to a job? Is what you start, all the worst case scenario stuff starts going through your mind. And I came across some other information. Eventually, I had the idea of what if I took everything we were doing on Facebook and tried to adapt it to YouTube? And there wasn't anyone I could talk to on this. No one was doing it. It was just a side project. Like you were talking about, things just present themselves, ideas. But for whatever reason, even though I kept trying it, I was having no success. I was convinced it would work. Somehow it was going to work. And after about 5 months of slaving away, trying to figure out what scripts would work, what videos were going to work, all this stuff, I had a winner. And basically it took me from my highest day ever being $2,000 a day on the Facebook side. It took it to my highest day in like 3 weeks was 20K a day. I was running 20K a day out of almost seemingly nowhere is what it felt like. But that's what, it was a overnight success story really of a couple years, like all those overnight success stories, but it worked. And that's what we're pushing now is YouTube. So it's feels like a blue ocean.
Yeah, in a way it does, but it's also becoming a lot more competitive over the last couple of years. At least I've noticed prices went up, and there's a lot of people try to
Yeah.
sell a lot of stuff on YouTube, and their targeting is getting better too. Like sometimes the targeting is a bit off though, because every now and again I would log in on YouTube and then I would get an ad in Arabic for some reason, and I'm like a Ukrainian Jew, so it doesn't really jam with me. But but aside from that, for the most part, they're spot on with their targeting, and I really, I really have to give props to Google for creating the targeting groups that they do, because um, as an advertiser, you get to have a lot more control over who you get in front of, even to a point of, and this is what I love about YouTube, to be honest with you, because I haven't seen it with any other platform. Um, you get to decide if you want to get in front of people who are making a lot of money or making less money, if you want to get in front of everybody or you want to exclude people in certain category. Like I've got this one campaign that's doing really well right now, and I'm getting in front of web designers, um, web design and development. Actually, the category is called so web design and development, males between 44 and 56 or 45 and 54 or something, that are in the top 10% earners. So when I started that campaign, everyone was seeing the ad in that category, but over time was able to go and kind of trim it and only leave the best segments. And because of the reporting that YouTube is providing or Google is providing, you can really narrow down your targeting to a point where every dollar you're spending is really accurate, just as much as it can be these days online. But yeah, I do agree that there's fewer advertisers on YouTube ads than there are on Facebook, for example. And a lot of people who do YouTube, they only do retargeting YouTube, which means if you visit their website, you might see their ad on YouTube later, but they don't go cold, which is a practice I've been kind of honing in this year, and that's like really getting in front of super cold audiences, like you said, blue oceans, because it does open up many doors. But the problem I ran into with YouTube ads when it comes to affiliate stuff is I actually kept getting banned. So I got banned twice, one for a counterfeit policy and another one for something else, when I was advertising this product. That's like a lens you put on your mobile phone, and it kind of
Hmm.
makes your camera zoom in like better. I don't recall what it's called, but it's out there. It's one of the CPA offers. So I put it up on YouTube and immediately got banned and couldn't get my account back. So um, let's dig into that. Um,
What was I'm just curious. I'm just curious, what was the reason? Why did they ban it? I mean, why did they consider that counterfeit?
They said counterfeit policy, counterfeit, like as if I'm pretending to, as if I'm selling a product I'm not manufacturing, something like that.
Mm.
I don't know why. No one was able to explain it to me. And when they contacted the Google rep that was managing another account of mine, they said that they can't access that account because they're not assigned to it. So wasn't able to get any answers. But that's beside the point. Um, Tell me, so how do you find how do you find the right products to put up on YouTube? Like, what sort of products do you guys advertise in? How do you pinpoint the best offers for YouTube ads?
A lot of what we've had the biggest success with in the past has just been your normal neutral offers. So like going to ClickBank, going to MaxWeb, going to these sites and taking stuff like dental nutrition offers or foot fungus offers. Some of these are more niche, but they're things that haven't been ran on YouTube really at all. I mean, a foot fungus offer, or you don't have many direct response dental offers on YouTube. So you do have a lot of weight loss stuff. Weight loss pretty much is popular anywhere. But I mean, we're seeing massive success with running some of these more niche, quote unquote niche, but in reality, you're talking like 10% of the population in the US probably deals with some of these issues. So 10% of the US, you're talking like 30 million people. It's really not that niche. Then if you open up to worldwide, you're talking hundreds of million. So, but no, the way we go and find products is, yeah, more or less you can do it a ton of different ways. Once you start doing well, you develop connections with different vendors. But the easiest way to get started is just working off the most common ad networks, ClickBank, MaxWeb, Max Bounty, seeing what has the highest rank, going looking at the VSLs, talking to the vendors, looking at the email swipes, coming up with unique angles. I mean, that part is important because the product is the only piece we don't control. We control the ad, we control the landing page, we control the targeting, we control everything, but none of that matters if you have a product that doesn't convert well. So it's very important to find a great product.
All right, so let's then talk about the things you do control. So you got the landing page, you've got the targeting, you've got the ad itself, and I know you've got a certain way that you guys create your ads that doesn't require you to get on camera. You don't even have to do your own voiceover. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so like I said, it took me like 5 months of just struggling on YouTube before I had any breakthrough. And during that time, I spent a lot of time trying to really just go back to the basics of what is advertising, what makes good advertising, what is influence, why do people convert on different products or listen, what's a pattern interrupt, all this stuff. So I largely went back to the OGs of direct response, and you're talking like David Ogilvy, guys like that, and looking at, well, how did they write copy? And so more or less, we just adapted everything we do. We have almost considered proven script templates that we follow now that have a pretty high chance of converting. But we take those scripts and we pair them up with exactly what you're talking about. We create videos where it's not my voice, it's not a person's voice, it's actually an AI voice. So I don't even have to hire a voice actor to go and record voiceover with the script I create. We can upload this into some of the AI voice creation software, come up with a script. We can come up with a video that's largely stock footage, piece all this stuff together, and you have a very interesting pattern interrupt if you do it right. But getting back to what you were saying in the beginning, yes, YouTube is becoming more competitive, but so many people are afraid of YouTube because they think they have to go on video. They think they have to record their own voice. They think it's just so much harder to come up with a good creative on YouTube versus Facebook, where you write some copy, put up a picture, and you're live. So we've kind of,
Dude, Facebook is impossible, man.
yeah,
Facebook is just brutal. It's draconian.
yeah,
It's a tyrant.
it
If
is.
Facebook was a person, it would be an evil person. It would be nobody would go to Facebook's birthday party because they're like the worst. Okay,
Yeah.
I just hate it. I just hate the like. I've been bashing Facebook all my life. At one point, I had a really good track record on Facebook. I was spending about 2K a day and making about eight for every 2K I spent. But it's been years now since I was able to get back on it. Just recently, we tried to get back on it, got banned. We got the account banned, the ad manager banned, the business manager banned, and the personal account banned, and we didn't even run the damn ad for more than 10 minutes. It was just ridiculous. And now the closest thing to trying to get back on Facebook is us trying to find an agency that would run it on their own accounts. They're supposedly vetted and bulletproof and somehow above the law or above the rule book of Facebook. So as far as YouTube's concerned, I mean, I don't know for how much longer it's going to go, because I remember having the conversation with a famous copywriter. His name is Paris. I always get the last name wrong, but it's like Paris Lampropoulos or Lampropoulos or something like that. He's Greek by origin. But he's like a really, really, really powerful copywriter. Definitely the top 10 today, especially I believe in the health or supplement space, because he writes a lot for the anti-Alzheimer's and things like that. And he was, again, that was back in 2019, before the pandemic. He was talking about YouTube ads being the place to be, even back then. And primarily because it was so easy to get everything approved on YouTube. Because he writes about supplements, and supplements, I mean, they're regulated by the FDA. So you make that claim wrong, you can't run. You not only you can't run, you're going to get sued by the feds, right? So you better have your copy on point. And so, he was talking about how on YouTube, I mean, he said you can get anything. You can run anything you want. And then he was like, I don't think it's going to last. But I mean, as we're shooting this episode, we're in 2022, so it's still going. Like, to a point, and I'm not even kidding, because I speak Russian, right? So sometimes I'll get on YouTube and I'll search for things in Russian, especially like when I'm trying to barbecue something and I'm terrible at it. So I'll like try to, how to barbecue a hamburger, or what temperature a hamburger has to be well done, or whatever. And, and I'll get Russian ads. And it's even worse in Russia, because they basically run scams. I mean, I'm not even kidding. So I'm like sitting there and I'm searching for some Premier League highlights. I'm a Man United fan, so I got a lot of a big portion of my feed on YouTube has to do with soccer. A lot of it, interviews, pundits, and everything. So I'm searching for some highlights the other week, and all of a sudden an ad pops up, and there's footage of Elon Musk on stage, and the presenter is Elon Musk is saying things, right, but it's dubbed in Russian. So Elon Musk is speaking in English, but somebody dubbed over him in Russian. And they're basically saying, hey, we created this software that anyone can use to become a millionaire. You just plug it in. And so you click on the ad, bro, and it's a scam. It's somebody claiming that Elon Musk created a piece of software and that he did it because he wants people to be rich. I'm like, how is this approved? Where's the button? And I was actually trying to submit like a complaint or something to say that this ad is just bogus, but there's no button like that. You know what I mean? So it's like you either skip the ad or watch the ad. That's it. I was like, oh my God, look at what they're running on YouTube these days. That's crazy. But again, it's a bad thing, but it's a great thing for advertisers, because guys who are and girls who are and non-binary people who are within the the gray area of the spectrum, whether it's health offers, nutrition, anything, make money, whatever, you can run and you don't have to worry about losing your account.
Yeah, exactly what you're talking about. I mean, we definitely don't we definitely don't encourage people to run like that. That stuff is that stuff sketches me out. But No, to your point, like that's a very extreme point of that's how far it, how little control there is over YouTube. So, I mean, someone like you have a completely legitimate brand, completely legitimate products. Everything is completely above board, and Facebook shuts you down without even running an ad. I mean, zero. It's they have all this money, but they can't even take care of their advertisers. So yeah, I'm all for moving away from Facebook. I moved away and never looked back. So
So what you're saying is, if I'm getting this right, you guys are able to just write out the ad in a text format according to a structure or a template or a script, and then something turns that into a video by reading out the copy and syncing it with video footage or images, moving images, or something like that.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. And we actually created our own software for to make this much easier. We did have a software a long time ago or 2 years ago, but it actually got bought out. So it got bought out and shut down. Like it was a large company that bought it out and shut it down. So we completely lost access to that. So we've been using the next best thing we could find for the last year or so, and we actually developed our own software. So that's what we're using now, and it works. I mean, specifically so that we can spin up these not as YouTube ads. It would actually work on TikTok and stuff too, but we've not pushed much into that. So that's what we're doing now, and that's an exciting development for sure because it makes it way easier.
Okay, all right, I can appreciate that. And so what about landing pages? I know we don't have much time left, but I do want to touch about that and about the targeting. So landing pages, do you guys do you just have like a pre-sale page, a sandwich page? Do you build a list? Do you collect any email opt-ins? Or do you use the direct to affiliate link? What's the approach here?
Yeah, we just use a pretty simple sell or pre-sale page. So in general, yeah, we create our ad and someone clicks our ad. What we You can think of it as a bridge page, but also we've noticed that it's not just a bridge page. If we actually put forth the effort to keep curiosity peaked, to keep pre-selling the customer instead of just bridging them over to the affiliate offer, our conversion rates go even higher. So we have created bridge pages that take our conversion rates or our click-through rate on the lander up above 90%. I mean, we can do that. But we found that if we have a landing page that is converting at 90% and has 90% click-through rate and it has almost no copy on it, it sometimes performs lower in terms of actual purchases or ROI compared to a landing page that has 40% click-through rate and spends the time to educate or convince the viewer, or pre-sell is what we call it, the viewer before they click through the actual sales page. So,
Okay.
but those are pretty simple. Those are pretty simple landing pages. Go ahead.
Can you give me an example of what a landing page would look like for something like that? I don't know, diabetes, food fungus, hemorrhoids, whatever niche issue you're pushing.
Yes, in general, it's a very simple format. We have a big headline at the top. We have a sub headline. Then you have a big image with a lot of times we'll make it look like a clickable video that you click right there. And then below that, you just have maybe a paragraph or two of text. You have another click uh, CTA button down below that. So we'll really have three different places where they could click on our landing page that's going to take them over to the offer. But yeah, you want to have a very engaging image right there on your lander. Oftentimes it's going to be the same image you used as a pattern interrupt in your video. So you just want to stay congruent throughout that whole funnel to keep the viewer engaged.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty straightforward too. It doesn't sound like anything groundbreaking, to be honest with you. Sounds like a lot of the other stuff that I've seen before. So then the targeting. Maybe it's that's the secret sauce, or maybe it's your software. But basically, I know it's something else because the results that you're getting and your students are getting are pretty crazy. And I don't know anyone who's done that so far with YouTube ads. So what about the targeting? Is there anything different to how you structure your targeting? Because on YouTube, there's many different ways to do it. In fact, I've been running this one ad this whole year so far, and all I've been changing is the targeting. I haven't even been trying different creatives. I was just different targeting methods, whether affinity, in market, just search terms, or pre-built audiences, or any kind of Google generated lists, or just no targeting at all. This is kind of crazy, but I got a campaign running right now. I didn't give it any targeting parameters at all. That I just said, everything you know about my account, just use that and see if you can find someone, and that's working. So there's so many different ways to do it. What's your favorite targeting system?
Yeah, we can talk about the targeting, but just to address that first part of what you were saying, basically, it isn't a groundbreaking process. It's like I took the process Rob Jones and Gary Kramer created on Facebook. I took the same 3-step system, took it to YouTube. I found out the format of a YouTube video that works, and then we create YouTube ads that are unlike anything else that advertisers really run on YouTube. So that's why we have success on YouTube largely, is that piece. But in terms of the targeting, what we're seeing work best, especially if you're running in mass appeal offers, we're just running broad. So we have so many keywords in the script of our video. We have so many keywords in the landing page of our video. YouTube is able to parse out exactly what our video is about, exactly what the lander is about, exactly what we're selling. YouTube's able to go and target exactly who our customer is. I mean, it's Google. It's the greatest search engine there is. They have more data than anybody in the world. So we're leveraging their AI to be able to produce us sales at a reasonable price. So that's ultimately on any product you're running, the end goal is getting to broad on YouTube. Whether you're running a super niche survival offer or you're running offer in health that's mass appeal, the end goal is to get to broad. And so exactly like what you just said, you can do that by building up a ton of data in your account, a ton of data on your conversion action events, which is equivalent to a Facebook pixel. And then eventually you can run broad, and you just you set the optimization for the same pixel basically, and Google just pulls all that data in, and that's what it drives sales from. It maps out the data points of all those past customers, and it reflects that on everybody it's showing ads to. So we just run broad. It's the cheapest in terms of cost, and it scales to like infinity pretty much.
Yeah, they got a lot of traffic. It's really hard to try and max out YouTube, that's for sure.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, I had no idea that YouTube can actually like listen into what you're talking about in your video and make a decision about, oh, so this video is about that and not this. And I mean, I heard the stories of Facebook listening in on your conversations and popping ads in front of you based on that. And in a way, I think it's true. Again, I don't have any proof, but I think it's true. But I had no idea that YouTube actually breaks the ads down and says, oh, okay, if this ad is talking about coaching and consulting, we're going to put it in front of people who are involved with coaching and consulting.
Yeah, so there's certain words that, I mean, we know that Google goes through and looks at your script because there's certain words that will instantly flag your videos. So if you're talking about anytime, even if you're talking about prescription drugs, anything, drugs, weapons, anything just borderline edgy, like you were saying, that stuff doesn't exist in the Russian YouTube, but it does exist in English YouTube. So there are limits on what you can run and stuff you just want to stay out of. But sometimes you can put certain words in there and it automatically flags the ad. It automatically is going to take 6 hours for a human to go manually review it. So because they're doing that, they are pulling out the keywords in that script. It's just like the subtitles we see on YouTube ads. Or YouTube videos. It's the same thing.
Yeah, well, look, I know we can keep breaking this down for a long, long time, but unfortunately, sometimes we have to stick to a format. So this is where we have to cut it short. But I know you've got a big program that actually has this proper system laid out step by step, including your software that creates the ads, your ad scripts, as well as, of course, I would assume, the targeting patterns and the targeting strategies that you're using with YouTube ads. So it's all done in a very clear step by step fashion, something that anyone can follow. And I know that you're also backed up by a team who's got multiple years track record of helping people become successful, including yourself, because you started out as a student with them, and now you're actually one of the team members leading the way and helping others make a lot of money. So please tell us about that. I know the program is called Profit Singularity Ultra Edition, and um, I know this is where everything is laid out, right? What I want to know from you is why you chose to get involved, and rather than just staying behind the scenes and running campaigns and going out uh, dirt biking or something, and how can people find out more about it?
Yeah. So, like you said, or like I said there earlier, I started off, I came through Rob Jones and Gary Kramer's Facebook program. Facebook eventually started to die out, and they were looking at other platforms, and they saw me, one of their former students, having adapted their exact process on YouTube and having taught several people how to do it myself. So they uh, brought me in on their partnership, and we launched Profit Singularity last year, the first edition. And yeah, the results on that have been pretty mind blowing. Our biggest student, he sent in screenshots last month. He is now officially the biggest ClickBank affiliate right now. He's doing over $2 million a month in ClickBank commissions, just affiliate commissions. So we have him coming in, showing, sharing his screenshots and stuff, which is just awesome to see. But yeah, we have the full program where we talk about exactly what makes these ads work, how we build them, the software that creates them, all of that. And we have a workshop that walks people through that for free in the workshop. So all that's available. I can give you the information on that if you wanted to. I'm not sure if what you've put in the show notes or what that is, but yeah, it's profitsingularity.com, and they can find out more information on it, but I assume you can direct them or however you want to do that.
Yeah, we'll include the link in the description. But in case you guys are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Amazon Music or whatever, and you want the link now, you can just go to profitsingularity.com and you can find out more information about that. Basically, we're talking, man, the biggest affiliate on ClickBank right now, $2 million a month in commissions. That's crazy. Yeah, guys, you should really check out Profit Singularity. You gotta because this is unheard of, just unheard of. I mean, it's a bit of a penis shaming happening right now here for me, because I mean I don't think I've ever had a $2 million a month, whether affiliate commissions or Bitcoin or anything else. I mean, it just sounds outrageous. So again, I'm really really inspired to have these conversations with people who just went from like trying to figure it out and just recently still being unsuccessful to now become um, one of the highest earning affiliates in the world. That's pretty crazy. That's like a Cinderella story for me, but I've now been seeing these stories every year so often that it just become a regularity. And I really wanted for our listeners to experience that for themselves too, that even if they've been kind of searching for their thing for a few years, I mean, just one big success, just one thing that works will eclipse every other failure they've had before, making it completely irrelevant and unimportant. Because even if you've been struggling for 10 years, but this one thing starts working and you skyrocket, doesn't matter, that journey has still been worth it. Because if you were to still work that engineering job, I mean, it would be a far cry from $65,000 in commissions per day and having the freedom to do whatever the hell you want at your own pace, on your own schedule, as well as having the impact you're having these days on other people's lives. So I really appreciate it. So thanks again for taking the time to rap with me on the show. I really, really, really appreciate it. I wish for you to continue and grow and become even more successful and touch even more lives, because you're doing something great here. So thanks, man, and I'll see you on the next one.
No, I enjoy it. I appreciate you having me on. So thank you.
All right, guys. So this is it for the List Building Lifestyle. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode. Cheers. Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Get access to the previous episode's transcript of today's show, as well as other exclusive content at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. Also, remember to claim your free copy of my best-selling book at www.igorsbook.com. It explains how I made millions with list building starting from scratch. Plus, I'll give you $3,000 worth of free bonuses, including my best landing page templates, email swipe files, and traffic blueprints. Go to www.igorsbook.com now to claim your free package.